Check these out. These are so cool. Went to the candy store in Chandler, Arizona called, I think it's called Sweeties or something or other. I haven't seen these since I was a kid. Awesome. It's got a Spitfire and a Hawker Hurricane. Here's the Spitfire and the Hawker Hurricane. They're like foam, and when you throw them, the little propeller spins. Totally cool. I also picked up some gummy bears. And look at this. Check this out. I did like these ghastly science experiments on these gummy bears, replacing the red gummy bear head with the yellow body, and the yellow gummy bear head with the red body. And it's all in the name of science. And deliciousness. Okay, this will be my first time doing this. I've filled up this glass bowl with Future, and I'm going to start dipping. There. Just wipe off, dab off excess. Let's do the other end. There. Beautiful. Again, I've never done this before. This middle part doesn't need any. It's gonna be hidden anyways. Alright. Let's allow that to dry. Yeah, I'll put it this way. And let's do the red parts here. Let the paper towel absorb the excess. Beautiful. Let's lay this down like this. And, oh my, I got two more pieces. There, throw these away. Now, I should have done the windshields like this first. I should have dipped them in Future first. So, unfortunately, I did not do that. So, I'll have to do that. The reason unfortunate is because I want to keep the semi-gloss look to well, what would have been, you know, the vinyl between the windows, yeah, on a regular car. So we'll see what we can do. Okay, the clear coating was pretty successful. Really nice shine. It looks like glass. Now, I don't know if the camera can pick this up or not, but there's a couple of like little spots. You can see it in the reflection. But, you know, I'm not too picky. I'm happy. Now, lesson learned is I should have done the clear coat first. Then, if I had making any mistakes, what I could have done is just soak it in Windex and then start over. But anyhow, what I should have done is done the clear coat first, then used the masking stickers, and then spray painted the black. And that way I would have definitely ensured the semi-gloss. What I did, though, on the other hand, is after I dipped it to maintain the semi-gloss, I used one of these. It's like a little makeup applicator. Cosmetics. I don't know what the women, I think it's for their eyeballs or something. My wife doesn't wear makeup, and I'm glad she doesn't, because I think it's stupid. Anyhow, I use one of these things to to wipe away the excess on the black parts and then just carefully trace along the outside to maintain the semi-gloss. And as a result, it looks pretty nice. You would, think that's the vinyl. So it's pretty cool. So ready to assemble this. I'm gluing the tail lights, and in order to do so I am using some paper binder clips to hold them in place while the glue dries. First things first, the tail lights turn out just fine. I would not recommend using the binder clips. These work fine for regular plastic, but for the clear plastic, it stressed the plastic just slightly, and it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, you have to really look closely, and you're not going to see it on a camera, but it kind of stressed the plastic a little bit, has tiny little micro fractures, so I would not recommend using these on clear plastic. I redid the license plate that was wrong. It just didn't look right. I printed out a whole bunch of new decals, and the first one worked just fine. So I began assembly on the body, and the rear view mirrors just did not look right. They were a different color. The reason why is because I just did not paint the body correctly, and you probably couldn't see it on the videos at all, but I was just not happy. There was too much orange peel, and it was just not reflecting the light properly at all, and it was darker. And I think the reason why is because if you go back to I don't know, video 7 or 8 or whatever, where I was spray painting the body, I was holding the spray can too far away from the car body, and as a result, the paint dries in midair, and while it attaches to the plastic, it's kind of bumpy and it doesn't really reflect the light right, and it was more like a dark navy blue. This is the way it should be. I ended up stripping the paint. I used Mr. Paint Remover. That was not fun. It was a huge task, and I'm not even going to go into details. But so since I was starting over again, there were a few things that were kind of glaring to me that I didn't like. I used to have like these parting lines, like these little seams on either side of the front of the car. I sanded them off, and you can't see them anymore. Same thing in the back. There was like this really nasty ridge along the edge here, and a smaller one over on this side. I sanded them, and they're completely invisible now, and it looks a lot better. I did the primer again, and when I spray painted it, I made sure that the spray can was no more than like 4 inches away each time, and instead of going like deliberate slow, I just went back and forth like super fast, like karate chop style, and I kept it wet and I kept it smooth the entire time, and while it was started to dry, I just sprayed it some more and just kept spraying, and the result was a much smoother paint finish that has a brighter blue, a lot. You probably can't tell on the camera, but it's so much better. I had attached the rearview mirrors to the body before spraying it and all that, and now the paint matches perfectly. Then I did a gloss finish, and the decals look much better because, again, I had a second model, if you remember, and I had these leftover decals. I had already tore into them because of the steering wheel H, the Honda H, ripped the first time around, so I ended up using the second set of decals for that. I sprayed the decal setter, hold on a second, the Tester's decal bonder, I sprayed, and they held together. They did not rip this time around, thank God. I think I might just end up using this for every model just to make sure that I don't get any rips. The H looks fantastic, and the Fit logo is perfect. So I'm going to be ready for another clear coat. I did the panel lines again, and redid the key tumblers, all three of those as the chrome silver. And for the top part, you know, this is a little bit too wide for the Zippo technique. So what I did was I used a Gundam marker and then just drew on either of the wide ends, and there you go. The instructions call for using the semi-gloss paint, but this is the way to go. Really, really awesome. And what you could do, I imagine, is for the panel lines you could maybe use just like one of these Gundam markers, but I find it a lot easier just to use the Zippo lighter fluid and enamel paint, black enamel paint, to do that. But anyhow, this worked just great on the top. So this is going to get another clear coat, and then I should start polishing, and I'll be ready for the final steps in the assembly. Okay, this is the white stuff I was telling you about. This is completely normal with Future. It just, when you put on a heavy layer, it goes away after a while. Okay, this is a really beautiful shine. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the car is not that way. I've had a bit of a setback. One tiny little mistake has caused a bit of a snowball effect. So what happened was, there was this, after I had done the first clear coat, there was this ubiquitous little strand of lint hair that landed, a couple of them actually, and so what I did was I used some 2000 grit sandpaper to kind of buff it off a little bit, give it another clear coat, and then those fixed those parts. However, there were other little lint strands that landed in elsewhere, and so there was one on the hood, and while I was doing that, I made one bit of a mistake. There was this rather long strand of lint that fell, and then I was trying to buff it out, and then what I was using 2000 grit to wet sand, and then I reached for what I thought was 1600 grit to wet sand because it wasn't quite getting it off, but I accidentally grabbed 600, and on top of that I forgot to get it wet. So that kind of made a big mess. It started getting into the actual paint job by mistake. So what I did was I masked this part off here, and then I tried to just kind of remove, just kind of wet sand as much as I could, and in the process, a bit of the mixture ran. It was a mix of a bunch of crud and water, and it kind of leaked out all over the front end of the car, and so it looks kind of crappy. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to use some Goo Gone to get rid of the crap. In the midst of all of this stuff, you know, I repainted this, polished it with Future, and somehow I kind of scuffed up some other scratches up here too. So I'm trying to repair all of this. It was almost perfect, and then all this crap happened, and it's really disappointing. So I'm going to try to polish, sand as much as I can of the stuff that needs to be repaired after using the Goo Gone to see if I can get rid of that. You see all that? It looks nasty. Bob Saget, this is not working. Oh gosh, this is turning out to be really disgusting. I may as well just have to start over with the paint job. Spot doing this, it just is not happening. It still looks like crap. I'm gonna have to redo this. In the meantime, there is an alternative. Da, 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 da. I got this for super cheap. This is an actually, it's a motorized version of the exact same model. Most of the parts are the same, except of course the base is different. I'll open up and show you. So it's got, what is it? It's on the bottom. See, this is different. The bottom part is not detailed at all, and instead, look, it's got all these little motorized thingies, and it's got a little lubricant. It's got a bunch of moving parts. You can actually build a motorized version of this, and if you look at the box here, it can go on a certain path. It can do like figure eights, or it can just go zigzag back and forth. Pretty neat. So the second time I make one of these cars, it's going to be, oh yeah, here comes a little driver. Isn't that neat? Yeah, I'd like to do a motorized version of this one of these days. So, although to be honest, once I'm done with this Honda Fit, I'm going to move on to other things. My wife's been bugging me to do Knight Rider car next, the Aoshima model, so I'm going to do that. So it'll be a while, but eventually I would like to get to it. This is molded in like a light blue instead of red. Third time's a charm. Okay, so I'm going to start over for a third time with a new body. Now, this is not a total lost cause. I can strip the paint off. All I would need to do is just order the decals on the back, and I should be able to salvage this. In the meantime, though, because it will take about 3 months, let's get started with this. Okay, so there are these seam lines. You can see one goes along here, one goes along here, this one goes straight down here, and another one, it just goes straight down there. I'm going to sand those off. Turned out really nice on the last body, so let's do it again for this one. Okay, sanded them off with 600 grit. They're looking pretty nice. Now you can maybe possibly see a little bit of the line left, but it's really smooth to the touch, so it shouldn't be a problem once I prime it. Pretty nice. It's been primed. You'll notice no seams. I was able to sand out those seams pretty well. Totally disappeared. Now the next part, I'm going to show again painting. This time I will be painting it the best way I have learned to do this, which is put down a preliminary coat and then just work it fast and close. I was holding the can away too far in that, I think it was volume video 5 or whatever. You'll see a much better paint job this time around. Okay, so third time is a charm. I've done the panel lines, everything looks just great. So I think the finish looked a little bit better the second time around before I totally screwed it up, but I'm happy. This is going to be finally assembled, finally. There. There we go. Cool. Stay. Okay, rearview mirror time. I'm going to be using Tester's cement because I don't want this to fall off. Tamiya is not quite as strong, the thin cement, so I want to make sure that this is not going to be falling off and rattling around inside the car. Oops. Again, I apologize for my left-handedness. There. So next I'll do the taillights, and I redid these. Since I had so many extra parts from failed model attempts, I decided to redo this again. So I did not use the clamps, and these turned out looking a lot bit better. Okay, line this up with the little grooves here. There. Pull this out a little bit, let it go into the holes. Yes! Rear view mirrors are in place. Windshield wipers in place. Everything's looking great. Alright, so next is the wonderful license plates that I worked so hard on making. Yep, okay, so these they're two different lengths, I believe. So you just gotta line up the right one in the right holes. My hands are shaking because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. It's early in the morning. It's what? September 18th, Sunday. So let's just put this in the hole. I think this is the right hole. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Dang, my hands are shaking. There. No, I guess not. Let's put this in the front instead. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I wanted to make a big mess here. A little bit of glue kind of squirted out a little bit. See if I can wipe some of that away. Yeah, wipe away with a hairy paper towel. Good idea. Numbnuts. Just kind of scrape some of this away. There. There. Yeah. Alright. So let's just apply the glue in the holes. And then a little bit across here so as not to repeat that. Oh no. No! This is on upside down! Oh no! I put the sticker on upside down! Ah! Crap! This is the finished result. Finally, I'm finished. I had a bit of a setback with the last license plate, but as you can see, it is now complete. I had to strip off the decal. I went ahead and just repainted the license plate and then reapplied the decal. So anyhow, this is the finished product. I like the nice blue shine to it. A couple of problems I had with the final assembly were the windows. They did not really go in as well as I thought they would. I wanted to glue these together. They glue on the inside of the roof, on the ceiling of the car. That was kind of okay, but didn't really quite work out the way I wanted it to. So while it was upside down, I kind of glued along the sides, and you probably can't see this on the video, but you can kind of see the distortion of the clear glue along the glass. It's not that noticeable, but still, it bothers me a little bit. The windshield wipers did not go on quite as I expected them to. Actually, I think I might glue this on a little bit. They did not really sit flush with the windshield. I did glue the back because it was just sticking out. I mean, it could very easily, something can catch on it, your finger or whatever, and it might bust off, so you just gotta be careful with that. The rear taillights, they're on there. They don't really fit as well as I thought they would. Maybe I'm just not that skilled, I guess, but I just didn't really care for how that came together. Most everything else, though, I think it turned out fine. You see, I have the rear view mirrors on there, the shiny chrome. The really cool part, I think, are the headlights. The black grille, when I was painting, or I'm sorry, when I was assembling it, that was a little bit difficult. I used Tester's cement because it's stronger, it bonds stronger than the Tamiya extra thin cement, because the bottom part actually does not require glue. It can just kind of, snap into place, but in order to do that, it has to connect to the black grille part, and that needs to be firmly secured. So I did have a little bit of problem with that, but putting some decent glue on it, then that really fixed the problem. So again, this is a fun kit. I made a lot of mistakes, but as I said from the beginning, you're gonna see lots of mistakes being made by me because I'm new to this and I've never done this kind of thing before. The encouraging thing, beginning of September, I can't believe this is, gosh, I started this kit like in January or so. I mean, I've had a lot of stuff going on in between. Lately I've been working on a bunch of other models, like I finished this Gundam model, and of course I've also been working on the Nausicaa, and finished up this little tiny Macross Valkyrie. I'm also working on a Mazinger Z. Actually, and some other stuff too. I'll get to that later. But anyhow, I went to an IPMS model club in September, and I talked to this other guy. He was another model car enthusiast, and he said that he had to buy the same kit like twice and almost a third time because he made mistakes. So that was really comforting to know that I'm not the only one making mistakes like this. I'm not the only one having to buy the same kit over and over again because I've really screwed up on something. It happens, but for anybody who's interested in making this model, I hope that by watching this video that you would have been able to avoid some of the mistakes that I made. So I really like the detail on this. It's a really neat model. I really enjoyed this a lot, despite some of the headaches that it gave me. And I've begun working on another car model. I am working on Knight Rider Season 4 by Aoshima. I started recording some of it. If it turns out it's coming along well, I'll go ahead and start uploading videos of that. But this is my next car model I've been working on. So, again, this is a pretty neat model. I had a lot of fun, even though it took a long time. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.